going on? What's cracking? You already know who it is. Doing it on homie Wings. We outside. Camping situation. Currently grabbing food. This is about to be a movie because this shoe is very important and some of us wanted to weather the storm. So yeah, I'm out here grabbing food right now. Tim in the building. You know what I mean? And we got more footage coming, man. Stay tuned, man. Rain was brutal last night. Rain was real brutal. Kept us in our cars, but we made sure we stood tall for this shoe. So stay tuned. Release is coming soon. It's top of the morning. So the rain ain't coming back, so you know, popped out here with the crew, with the fellas. Yeah, we out here just talking kicks and everything. Line not too bad. That rain kept people away, you know what I'm saying? So not too bad, but yeah, waiting them. They about to open up in a few. So yeah, you already see it. Saturday, getting it in, but line ain't that bad. Fellas ain't hitting with the memo. You see them boys out here. People want to eat, to get right. Share that line, getting up there, just a tad bit. What up, 3 times? You already know who it is. It's the one and only homie Chef, aka Wings912 on IG. That's WINGZZ912 on Instagram. Looking at me, we got an almighty shoe review. Appreciate y'all tapping in. If this is your first time, please go ahead and subscribe, hit that notification bell so you can stay tuned and tap into the content. Please give a thumbs up, keep me in the algorithm, and if you feel compelled, leave a comment. I'm listening and responding. Shout out to the Breakfast Club. As you can see, some of us came out, rain or shine. We wanted this shoe, and this shoe was very, very important, you know what I'm saying? And as you can see with the lineup, we are definitely talking about an SB Dunk today. This SB Dunk has a lot that goes on with this story, you know what I'm saying? A lot of good, and not only that, but it got some blowback too. We're going to get into all of that. But you know how we rock. We start with the box. And it's a cream box. Cream. But we're going to get into it. We'll explain that, you know what I mean? Colors read Tourmaline, Barack Brown. And before I even get into the shoe, I'm going to just give you, this. So if you see this, you know what's going on, right? Oh, all right. You know what I mean? I bring to you none other than the Nike SB Black History Month SB Dunk Rodeo, aka the Tourmalines. There's so many names with this. And when we talk about what's going on with this shoe and why it happened the way that it happened, it'll all make sense. Oh, y'all know. Heels too. Heels is crazy. And now that we got them in hand, let's get into them. Inspired by the legacy of black cowboys and ranchers, including Bill Pickett, the Nike SB Dunk Low Rodeo mixes history with heat. Tourmaline green suede lays the base while brown leather and orange piping rope in the cowboy vibes. Embroidered designs mimic the boot stitch patterns while rope laces round things out. The insoles showcase a bunch of Wild West graphics that tell a frontier tale. This is pretty much like a wearable tribute to unsung pioneers in the rodeo culture. Alright, so boom. Black History Month Rodeo Dunk. Yes, I'm still calling it Black History Month Dunk because this was originally supposed to release in February. But we got them in early May, and there's a lot of reasons why. But before we even get into the reasons why, let's just talk about the shoe, you know what I'm saying? Alright, so it's a lot going on with this shoe. It's very, very detailed because it is rodeo themed. And this goes back to the 1800s, 1900s. the Cowboys, and you know what I mean, a lot of the steer handlers of everything in that day, they were very celebrated. And you know, it was a lot of things, including the steer competition or bulldogging, which was invented by Bill Pickett. And this shoe has a lot of that involved with it. So we're gonna look right at a lot of these the Western themes that's into this shoe. You know what I'm saying? All right. First off, the first thing off the bat you're going to notice is this green, and it's tourmaline green. Now, the reason why they have this color is because they say on the ranches and on the farms, this is the color green that those fences turn. You know, like those wooden fences and everything over time. This is the green that they turn. So this is the reason why they went with that color. Not a bad color, pretty dope. I like the hits of leather that they have on here. You have a leather on the check, this dark rock brown. And then not only that, but you have one on the tag, and it's very, very rough. It feels like Cowboys gloves in a sense. And then you have some leather on the heel too that also kind of gives me the feel of the saddle. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's definitely one of those things. So they have a lot of hits on there. Also, this piping has been, it was a thing, you know, had a lot of piping for designs, whether it was on the saddle or on shirts. You know, this brown piping is pretty dope, and I like the way it separates the tourmaline green, you know what I mean, the different sections. Even though the entire shoe has the color, this piping just makes it pop. This piping pops so hard. On the tongue, you have this nice canvas, you know what I'm saying, and it's almost like the jean material or pants material that, you know what I mean, Cowboys, the steer handlers might have rode. And you know what I'm saying, definitely a nice little detail. Around the heel collar, you see the design. You have this embroidery along with the star that's on the heel. And that's just a lot of designs that was in shirts and everything of Westerners and the Cowboys. So that really, really makes sense. You know what I'm saying? It's pretty dope. And you see the star that's embroidered on the back is the same way as behind the tongue. And it had the message, certified for the real riders, crafted for the modern cowboy. You know what I mean? So even though they say things have changed, you know, it's still crafted for the modern cowboy. And that statement is definitely going to be something that we're going to speak on. Uh, you saw the insoles. The insoles had the cowboy rounding up the cattle, and like, you know what I mean, a two-part situation with the insoles is pretty dope. But also what I like is the two-tone sock liner. You have this satin, like this yellow goldish type of satin on the heel and around the sides, and then behind the tongue, you have the same tourmaline green that's in satin. That's pretty dope. I'm not mad at that. And then, of course, when we come to this outsole, you know I'm a sucker for a translucent outsole. And then they have this red and this yellow, and it's just all blended beautifully, you know? Okay, now the politics about this shoe. The shoe kept getting pushed back, and the reason for that is because Nike was trying to get with the family of Bill Pickett, who is the originator of this bulldogging or steer wrestling that they have, you know what I'm saying? They tried to do a collab with his family, and it was going back and forth, which is why we have this cream box. Because at the end of the day, they really didn't get the clearance to do an actual Bill Pickett collab. However, it is based off of his movie poster that he had, and it's pretty dope. You know what I mean? You got the little hints here and there. Not mad at that. You know what I mean? With the colors, so on and so forth. Like, they snatched certain things from there. But sneakers actually took it a little bit further, and they went down to Memphis, Tennessee, to the Bill Pickett Invitational, and got to talk to some riders and got some insight into what it meant to be a rider and a cowboy, the whole nine, and took some of those notes and some of the feedback that they got imported into this shoe. So I'm not mad at all at, you know what I mean, the execution of this shoe. We've been waiting for this so long, and we've been wanting this so long, and I'm glad that we actually got to get the shoe. Now, there was some blowback and some, you know what I mean, it wasn't some people that weren't too happy about this shoe. You had some negative feedback. And I mean, don't get me wrong, everybody's allowed to have their opinion, but it was kind of odd to me that it got the blowback. The thing about the blowback is it's kind of weird because a lot of people don't know Bill Pickett, and this shoe is just a scratch on the surface to who he is, and a lot of people are definitely going to do the research now, and I think that's cool. But you know, a lot of people wasn't too happy about that, especially what they feel he means to cowboys today and just overall, you know what I mean, rodeos period. A lot of things that I heard was the fact that they actually used the movie poster and didn't really tap into Bill Pickett's life. Because it's not an official collab, you can't get mad at Nike for how they still tried to tell the story even though they didn't actually get to use Pickett's name. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing. The second thing is the statement on the back, made for the modern cowboy, where there are people that still ride and take that very personal, and they were really upset that the shoe didn't have functionality for a cowboy. And honestly, I don't know how you expect that, considering it's an SB Dunk. Everybody knows it's a skateboarding shoe. So that didn't really make too much sense to me, you know what I'm saying, with that feedback and a lot of blowback. But at the end of the day, people try to find their ways to, go against the grain sometimes, and want that, want those eyes and want to go viral. And don't get me wrong, I mean, granted, traditional rodeo style and being a cowboy means a lot to people, so understand I'm not trying to like knock y'all at any type or any type of way, but I just can't see anyone expecting a SB or a skateboarding shoe to be as functional as a cowboy boot. Like, it's just two different worlds, you know what I'm saying? This is just a way to kind of bridge the gap and to teach people about things, And not only that, like I said, it's supposed to be a Black History Month release, but due to the fact that they couldn't get the collab done, the shoe still got released, and it got released in May, but they had to take some of that off of there, including the name, you know what I mean? But yeah, man, it is what it is. Nevertheless, people are happy that we got the shoe. I know I am, especially with what it represents and what it was supposed to be. I'm very, very well pleased with what Nike has done. When we come into wearing and the fit, true to size fit. So if you're interested in these, please stick to the size that you usually get in SB Dunks. You will not go wrong. Now, when it comes to the resale was fluctuating, but the one thing I can say is resale has been up. But for me, these were 135 plus tax, so 140-ish, 150-ish, you know what I'm saying? And needless to say, they were almost double in my size. They were up in, I seen them up in the 260s, 270s. So, understand, if you go ahead and buy this, you're going to be spending over 250, closer to 300, depending on what size you wear. So do your due diligence and research before you go purchase this shoe. But I'm not mad at this shoe at all. I'm very glad it gives I'm very glad that it opens people's eyes to cowboys, and not only that, but the role that African Americans played in the creation and the growing of the whole cowboy lifestyle and rodeos, especially with steer wrestling, you know what I mean, aka bulldogging, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's just dope, you know what I'm saying? And to see some of those videos of them doing that was crazy, because I don't have the heart to sit up there and ride one animal, hop off, tackle another animal, rope them off. You know what I mean? Like, that's a lot, you know what I'm saying? But that's what they were doing for fun, and they turned it into a sport. And here we are 100 plus years later, and it's still a thing, you know what I mean? So shout out to Bill Pickett. Shout out to his family for, letting the little bit done and giving some insight to who he was and what he represented to the culture. And shout out to Nike for making an effort and an attempt to tell a particular story about, Black people, African Americans, and their influence into the rodeo and cowboy culture. You know what I mean? Beautiful. And yeah, man, this shoe is amazing. So many different textures, very detailed. I love the colors. This is just going to be fun to wear and fun to rock during the summer, because that new colors is smacking. Tourmaline. But yeah, let me give y'all one more quick look at this shoe. Bow. Yeah. And when it comes to the Tourmaline, aka Black History Month, aka Rodeo SB Dunks, I'm giving these a 10. I love all the effort and detail that they put into these different materials. They also have different laces also, you know what I'm saying? But more importantly, you know what I mean, great story that goes along with it. And it's just, like I said, it's just an introduction to what we should know or could know about Black history and just their impact on a lot of things in different cultures, One thing that has been floating around, and I can't confirm or deny it, but I've been hearing rumors that there's actually a second rodeo dunk that could possibly come out, or there was a second sample that was around. I don't know. Maybe later on in life, you know what I'm saying? You know how they like to pop up with history picks and everything. Maybe we might see something. Maybe we might get another SB dunk that's rodeo themed. I don't know. But, you know, sneaker world talks a lot. Some things come to fruition, some don't. You know what I mean? So who knows, man? But get in the comments and let me know, man. Was I wrong for giving this a 10? Was I wrong for giving this a classic? You know what I mean? Get involved, get down below, let me know something, man. As always, I appreciate the love, support, and everything, and tuning and tapping in. You already know it's 2025. Things have been crazy. Things have been wild. Please be positive. Spread love to your friends and family. Keep everyone close to you. You know what I'm saying? Just a word of advice. You know what I mean? From me to you. Spread love. It's easy. You know what I mean? Stay hydrated. Stay focused. Stay hustling. Stacking your money. Stay low, but more importantly, stay out the way, man. Mind the business that pays you. I'm just saying, it works for me. Hopefully, it works for you. And by any means, keep them sneakers clean, yo. Before you go pay resale, come here and get the details. You already know the motto. And if we catch you lacking, understand that we snatching. It's not a game. We not playing. White cement fours in less than 14 days. I'm ready. I hope you are too. Be easy.